Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to do a special video all about this powder, Grand Powder. This powder is made by Remnant, which is owned by Hodgdon. Now I did receive some Grand Powder from Hodgdon, and so I want to thank them for sending this to me. Joel Hodgdon and the crew down there are doing a great job. But the first time I used Grand is when I bought my first pound with my own money. And yes, I have received some from Hodgdon since then, but I can testify long before they sent me any that I'm a big fan of this powder. And so in this video, we are going to go out to the range and I am going to show you some of the results that I have got with Grand Powder. I'm going to compare it to some other powders that are very similar to it. And then I'm going to give you my final thoughts. The first time I heard about Grand Powder was right here in Hodgdon's 2024 reloading manual. And I thought it sounded like a pretty good powder. So it's been out for a good year now. But I wanted to get some and actually have a little bit of time to kind of test it out with multiple cartridges. So that's kind of what I've done. I have shot it in the 243, the 270 short mag, and the 7 PRC. And I'll roll some of that footage now. All right, we'll let the barrel cool. Come down here and look at the group with the Grand Powder. As far as velocity, 30-73 average for those three shots. 73-degree weather. Energy was around 3350. The standard deviation was 11.3, which is fine. It's not bad. Overall, pretty happy with the velocity. That's pretty good. All right, let me show you the group. That's not bad. That's probably an inch group. All right, if we look here at the relative burn rates chart from fastest to slowest, you're going to find Grand almost at the very bottom, right here, in between, H1000, Magnum and Rotumbo, and Stayball HD, Reloader 26, Mag Pro, kind of in that ballpark. In fact, that's how it was marketed. It basically is going to give you the same performance as H1000, same type of burn rate. And so for a lot of the cartridges I shoot, that's really in a good place. So there are advantages and disadvantages to, say, ball powder versus stick powder. Ball powder will definitely meter better because the granules are just smaller. It's going to meter better and more accurately. So if you're using something like a manual powder measure that's going to drop a charge, or even if you're using something like a progressive system, the ball powder is just going to be a little bit easier to meter and be a little bit more accurate load to load. But typically stick powder tends to be more stable. And I'm not just referring to temperature stability, but just in general, it just seems like a more stable powder. And especially with these Hodgdon Extreme powders, they're just very stable, including very temperature insensitive. And so, you're not going to get tremendous differences whether you're shooting in hot weather or cold weather. And Mag Pro, for instance, is a great powder. I really do like it. I get great performance in my 6.5 284 and the 270 short mag. But it doesn't advertise, being that temperature insensitive. And so even though it's probably better than you think it is, it probably wouldn't match up with one of the Hodgdon Extreme powders. So there's definitely advantages to both. It seems like in the long range target shooting world, single base extruded powders, especially the extreme line from Hodgdon, seem to be really good and give the best accuracy and consistency overall. For hunting purposes, it seems like ball powders give you really good velocity. And so it seems like for shorter range distance hunting applications, the ball powder is going to give you the velocity you want and still give you good accuracy. But extreme accuracy and extreme temperature stability seems to be more the single-based extruded line. Enter Grand powder. It's kind of giving you the best of both worlds. So it's a ball powder, very similar to MagPro in its burn rate and in the performance as far as velocity that's going to give you. So it's going to meter well, it's going to give you good velocity. But as you can see, copper reducing agent and temperature stable. This is kind of a super ball powder as far as I'm concerned. You're getting the temperature stability of something like an H1000, yet with the velocity and good metering ability of a ball powder like MagPro. And so I'm really a fan of Grand powder. So much I like about MagPro, so many good things about H1000, and I feel like you've got a really good combo right here. All right, so my final thoughts are, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite powders. Now, in certain circumstances, like maybe a 308, it might be a little too slow, and so I might not use it in that circumstance. But most of the cartridges that I shoot, it's definitely going to be one of the few that I try. And so to me, it checks all the boxes of things that I'm looking for. I personally am a big fan of ball powder. And I love the velocity that I can achieve pretty easily with it. It definitely meters well, and I really like ball powder in so many ways. And if there was any negative that I could possibly say, it would just be that, generally speaking, a double base ball powder is not quite as temperature stable. And so some of these new powders, like the Winchester Stay-Ball line, this powder, I really do like the fact that it does that it is engineered and designed to be more stable. And so to me, you're getting the best of both worlds. I definitely have to do a lot more testing before I make this next statement official, but boy, I'm leaning toward this replacing MagPro in my lineup. I have about 8 or 9 powders that are my go-to powders. I'll try any powder, but I've got about 8 or 9 that are my favorites that I try to stay stocked up on. And man, this is potentially going to replace MagPro. And then again, maybe not. I'll have to do more testing for sure. So I recommend, if you're a hand loader, definitely checking this out. If you have any kind of Magnum or kind of an overboard cartridge like a 243 or something like that, this can be extremely good for that. In my personal opinion, if you've tried several good powders but you're just not quite getting the velocity that you want, definitely make sure you're following published data and that it's the right powder for your cartridge. But this could be the ticket to give you better velocity. So I'm a big fan, and I personally am going to continue to use this powder. Love to know what you guys think. Have you used Grand powder? What cartridges, what applications have you used it for? What was your experience? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video if you think it's worth sharing. And like I said, comment below. Hopefully you have a great day, and until next time, take care.